Back off, no pictures, no camera. I said back off. Back off. No pictures, no camera.
Crazy, isn't it? But this isn't just about one scandal. Fandom is everywhere in our modern society. You see it in music, movie, sports, anime, gaming, and even social media influencers. For a long time, we have treated fandom just as a form of entertainment, but it's much deeper than that. For millions of people, being a fan is about identity. It's about a sense of belonging, emotional support, and pursuing shared values. But what happens when that emotional connection goes too far? When admiration turns into blind worship, fandom can become harmful, both to the fans and to society, which leads us to ask three critical questions. First, where is the line? When does normal fandom become blind fandom? Does idol worship actually help people grow, or does it just become a dangerous escape from reality? And finally, the hardest question of all, is it ethical to support a public figure who is morally flawed? To find these answers, we can't just look at the stars under the spotlight. We need to look at the people holding the lights. Let's look at two completely different fans, Phoebe and Janissa. I won't make excuse for my actions. I know I have let you down.
This is unfair! One will never do this!
How can I support someone who is morally wrong?
It's time to move on.
People only see the stage, but they don't see the struggle. There were so many nights I want to give up, but I choose to stay enthusiastic, keep going, and I want that to give you the strength to keep going on your own journey too.
Hi, Wendy.
He's very popular.
Who is he?
He's a very motivating idol.
Oh, I'll look him up on the internet later.
Fan culture is a global phenomenon. Whether through music, sport, or gaming, millions find inspiration and a sense of belonging here. It creates communities where shared passion fosters genuine support. But there is a fragile threshold for Janessa. Healthy fandom inspiration personal growth for her and extension of herself. For others, however, admiration can slowly spiral into a blind loyalty. When fans begin to believe their idol can never be wrong, they stop appreciating the art and start rejecting reality. They defend the idol without facts and attack others to protect their own identity. As Jean-Paul Sartre observed, we all search for meaning, but he argued that we must create it through independent choice. When fans follow the crown blindly, they lose their autonomy, and healthy fans admire, blind fans obey. The line is simple. It is through the moment admiration replace critical thinking when an idol becomes more important than truth, reality, and your own identity, the fan has lost their way.
Now we will discuss our second research question.
Does the idol worship help people grow, or does it become a way to escape from reality? We can see two different examples from Janessa and Phoebe. For Janessa, being a fan brings positive changes. She studies harder, she becomes more confident. Most importantly, she still has her own goals and dreams. Her idol gives her motivation, but her life is still in her own control. However, Phoebe shows a different situation. She spends a lot of time following her idol online. She pays less attention to her studies. She spends less time with her friends. Her emotions depend too much on fandom activities. Without fandom, she often feels unhappy and empty. To understand this difference, we can use Sartre's philosophy. Sartre believed that people should create meaning through their own choices and actions. Janessa follows this idea. She uses her idol as motivation, but she still works toward her own future. Phoebe is different. She depends too much time on her idol for happiness and meaning. Because of this, idol worship may become a way to escape from reality. We can also understand the issue through Aristotle's golden mean. Aristotle believed that a good life needs balance. In fandom, healthy admiration is the balanced middle point. However, too much devotion can become an extreme. When admiration turns to obsession, personal growth will be affected. Therefore, idol worship is not always good or bad. It depends on how people take part in fandom. If it gives motivation and helps people improve themselves, it can enrich the self. But if it becomes a person's whole identity, it may become an escape from reality.
I need to address the recent news. I want to apologize to everyone that has disappointed you. I won't make it.
I can't let him affect me. I need to focus on myself.
How dare they? One is such a nice person. How dare they simply say him? This is not true. You guys are lying. How dare you?
The scandal brings us to our third research question. Is it ethical to support morally flawed public figure? This is where our philosophical framework collision. A utilitarian approach might argue that if an artist's music continues to bring happiness to millions, the social benefit could outweigh their personal falling. However, Kantian deontology provides a strict rebuttal. Moral law and human dignity can never be compromised for entertainment. Loyalty to talent does not grant immunity from ethical accountability. Ultimately, virtual ethics force us to look inward. By constantly defending wrongful acts, we risk damaging our own moral character. As Janessa demonstrates, separating the art from the artist is a conscious ethical boundary, whereas ignoring the truth, as Phoebe did, it was satirical bad faith and escape from moral responsibility.
Alright, so in today's digital environment, these moral dilemmas do not stay individual. Social media often transform personal admiration into a systemic, collective mob response that ignores basic ethical norms. The root of this issue lies in the exploitation of parasocial relationships. These one-sided emotional bonds are intensely manufactured by the media to ensure fan loyalty. So when a crisis occurs, highly invested fans like Phoebe internalize the criticisms of their idol as a personal attack. They stop evaluating facts and instead attack critics to protect their own identity. This tribalism over truth is the foundation of toxic fandom. Furthermore, the current architecture of platforms like TikTok encourages the oversimplification of complex ethical issues. These views can serve culture when nuanced moral situations are reduced to binary good versus evil narratives, leaving no room for critical judgment or restorative justice. Cyberbullying is quickly justified as network justice. Therefore, ethical engagement in this digital age requires a reflective fan culture. We must establish a clear boundaries. Celebrating art should never mean endorsing destructive behavior. True loyalty to ourselves means refusing to participate in online harms, ensuring our media consumption never costs us our moral autonomy.
Fandom is more than entertainment. It creates friendship, provides a sense of belongings, and inspire people. But philosophy always teaches and reminds us that admiration should always be guided by reason and ethics. From a utilitarian perspective, we judge fandom by its overall consequences. When it promotes creativity and encourages a good community, it gives social good. However, when it leads to cyberbullying, privacy invasion, or even emotional dependence, the harm may outweigh the benefits. You should always remember that ethical fandom should increase well-being without giving suffering to others. Next, content ethics shift the focus from consequences to moral duty. Fans have a responsibility to respect truth, dignity, and accountability. Supporting an idol should never mean ignoring evidence, attacking victims, or spreading misinformation. Celebrities are human beings, not perfect idols, and moral principles should never be abandoned because of personal admiration. Thirdly, Aristotle's golden mean teaches that virtues lie in balance. Healthy fandoms means appreciating an idol's work while maintaining independent thinking, self-control, and your own identity. Obsession is extreme, where admiration becomes blind loyalty and replaces good judgment. Lastly, sacred concepts of bad faith teaches us that every person is responsible for creating meaning in their own life. An idol can be a source of inspiration, but they should never become the foundation of our identity. When we rely entirely on a celebrity for happiness or self-worth, we escape our own responsibility instead of growing as individuals. From a philosophical perspective, fandom is not completely bad or good. However, it only becomes meaningful when it encourages critical thinking, personal growth, or moral responsibility. However, the goal is simple: admire, but do not blindly worship.
In today's digital world, fandom has become an important part of popular culture and social interaction. People are no longer just fans of singers or actors. They also admire athletes, fictional characters, influencers, and online creators. For many people, fandom is more than entertainment. It provides a sense of identity, belonging, friendship, and emotional support. At the individual level, fandom can have both positive and negative effects. Some fans feel inspired by their idols to work harder, become more confident, and overcome challenges. However, excessive admiration can lead to emotional dependence. Some people become so attached to their idols that their happiness and self-worth depend entirely on their idol's success or failure. At the social level, fandom can unite people and encourage positive activities such as charity campaigns and community projects. However, it can also lead to fan wars, misinformation, and cyberbullying, especially when fans become overly defensive of idols. From an ethical perspective, fandom raises important questions about loyalty and responsibility. Should fans continue supporting public figures who have acted unethically? Is it acceptable to ignore wrongdoing simply because someone is talented or inspiring? These questions have become increasingly relevant in today's digital environment. Finally, this study is philosophically important because it explores deeper questions about identity, values, and human responsibility. Through theories such as utilitarianism, deontology, virtual ethics, and existentialism, we can better understand why people form strong emotional attachment and how fandom shape their decision and behavior. Ultimately, this study aims to encourage a healthier and more responsible form of fandom, one that inspires growth, critical thinking, and ethical responsibility.
As we conclude our study, we have learned that fandom is more than entertainment. It shapes our values, emotions, and decisions. Supporting an idol can be positive, but it can become harmful when admiration turns into blind loyalty. Philosophy helps us understand why utilitarianism reminds us to consider the consequence of our actions. Healthy fandom creates happiness and supportive communities, while toxic fandom can lead to cyberbullying, misinformation, and emotional harm. Kantian ethics teaches that we should always uphold honesty and justice, even when someone we admire makes mistakes. Aristotle golden mean meant us to find balance, enjoying fandom without becoming obsessed. Such concepts of bad faith encourage us to take responsibility for our own identity instead of letting an idol define who we are. Our message is simple: admire your idols, but never stop thinking critically or staying true to your own values. Thank you.